Good morning, everyone. Breaking news. It's a done deal by Fabrizio Romano. Donny van de Beek to exit imminent from Manchester United. After 4 years, did we destroy his career? What is the deal? He's going to Girona, according to Fabrizio Romano. We're going to speak about Donny van de Beek, 100%, the story regarding Donny van de Beek. We're also going to speak about what's going on with Ligt and Zirkzee. Is there a double medical coming up very, very soon at Carrington? We talk about that as well. Amrabat as well, edging closer for 30 millions. Manchester United could do that double deal, and Ugarte as well, advancing deep into the Copa America. This is Mick Ruby. This is the Sunday edition. This is the transfer window we like to talk about. Before we continue, guys, please do not forget to smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, because here we apparently gonna bid. See you in 13 seconds. What's the story? Morning glory. Welcome. This is Sunday. Mick Ruby here. A little bit of hangover, rough around my feathers after yesterday's Snorefest, but still the England camp is through to the semi-finals and apparently meeting Holland as well. Holland also had a little bit of a stinker of game, but managed to pull through. It's going to be an amazing final if the garden path allows us, because France is going to play Spain, and who's going to be their winner. So England might have a favorable draw against Holland. And speaking about Holland, we have two potential candidates that's going to do a double medical at Carrington if this happens, if they get knocked down under Euro, because advanced talks really advancing regarding Zirkzee and Ligt. But we are here to talk about Donny van de Beek first and foremost. The story regarding Donny, I mean, I think it's a very sad story. I mean, I've been the advocate of free Donny all the way long. Like ever since we bought him from the wonder kid that was a Ballon d'Or winner. We bought him 4 years ago for 35 million. It obviously was not a Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signing. It was more of a club signing. And everyone was wondering, Ollie, when are you going to play Donny? And poor Donny, he worked hard in training, never did he complain. He went on 5 for 5 to have a conversation with Rio Ferdinand and everything. And he was such a laid-back lad who did everything to sort of get into that team. But he wasn't even picked, because we kept pecking that stupid McFred combination. And whenever Donny came in, he had a cameo. He showed it he was really relentless, but he wasn't really picked. It was Favorites FC. Now, poor Donny, this story, I never got it right. And never did he appear many times at Manchester United. Such a pleasant guy with a great footballing career ahead of him, and came to Manchester United for 35 million. Never got his career kicked on. Ollie never picked him. He pushed for a move to Everton, got into Everton, played 3-4 games, became man of the match. I think it was 2-3 games in a row, and got into that injury. Now, out of that loan, injury came back and under Erik ten Hag, and everyone was thinking, including myself, Erik ten Hag, Donny van de Beek, perfect marriage. Now, we saw that preseason, Donny was getting fired up, he was really moved like Jagger under Ten Hag. We all thought Ten Hag is going to get the best out of Donny, and then he had that leg breaker or the knee injury in the preseason as well, which was the end of Donny van de Beek. I just feel really sorry for the lad, because we ended up loaning him out to Frankfurt in the German Bundesliga for cheap deal. He didn't really have a success. And once you have a leg breaker or a knee injury, it's really hard to get back into your old self. Imagine Donny van de Beek under Ten Hag was a Ballon d'Or nominee. One of the special ones that came out of that, Ten Hag Academy. There was De Ligt, there was him, there was even what's his name? De Jong. And De Jong, I must say, made a name of himself in Barcelona. De Ligt, which we're apparently going to recruit him back now, chose Juventus instead of us back then. And then he went to, of course, Bayern, which he didn't really get picked. He was recruited in by Nagelsmann, and then Thomas Tuchel was a prat, didn't pick him, and now we're kind of getting a really good deal, 35 million for Donny. So no, for Matthias de Ligt. But for me, it's a sad story, and it's been reported by Fabrizio Romano yesterday. I'm just going to try to pull this up into the fray, because this is something that's gone under the radar. We forgot that we had this player, to be honest, and everyone's going to think, what about Donny van de Beek? What we're going to do with Donny? And he's another one that needs to go. And yesterday, Fabrizio Romano tweeted out, and I'm going to pull this into the stage as well to share with you. Let's have a conversation. Breaking news, according to Fabrizio Romano, the agreement between Girona and Manchester United for Donny van de Beek is based on add-ons. It could be up to 4 to 5 million based on appearance in this season, also higher in case of more achievements. Permanent deal agreed, but subject to personal terms to be discussed next week. Now, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from you what your thoughts and feelings is regarding Donny van de Beek. Now, I said my piece on it, and I feel really sorry for him, as I always cried out free Donny, even when he was not playing at Manchester United. Didn't really make any sense. Why did we sign him? Why didn't we not play him, in that position? And did we really destroy his career? That's the big question. Maybe I should start a poll on this, guys. I will actually do a poll on this. Did we destroy Donny van de Beek's career? Let's do this just as an engagement, right? Because according to my opinion, we did. We are guilty as charged. So I wish him all the best. Never did he get a proper chance on the Red Devil shirt. Different managers, different expectations, leg breaker, and I hope this Girona move is a great move. And by the way, Girona, who won the league last year and now playing Champions League, so that is a good move if he sort of solidifies a place in Girona to play in Champions League. Let me start a poll, guys, right here. Did Man United destroy Donny's career? Simple question, yes or no. Right, I'm starting a poll right now, and let's get engaged into this, right? So tell me how you're feeling. I want to hear from you guys. How do you feel regarding Donny van de Beek? I think it's a good move. If we get 4 to 5 million, that is still recuperating some of that money, because he's been with the club for almost 5 years, right? Permanent deal agreed. They are discussing personal terms. He's on 90k per week at British pound at Manchester United. So that is another one off the wage bill. And personally, there was a little feeling inside of me to say, what if we don't sell him? What if we can keep him? What if Ten Hag can get the best out of him with the new establishment, with René Henke coming in, with Ruud van Nistelrooy coming in, with Matthias de Ligt, his old teammate, signing up, with Zirkzee potentially signing up. This might be a career revival, but at the end of the day, they've decided to part ways. And Girona, for me, it's a good move, as explained. Why? Because Girona, again, did really fantastic. They shocked everyone in La Liga, winning the league and getting into Champions League. So Donny instantly gets into a lead team in La Liga. He has to prove his bits, that he's worth it. According to some add-ons, is based on this. We can get up to 5 million with the add-ons, depends on how many times he appears for them. So this is a career revival, and what a great way to come into Champions League football as well. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the non-live comment section as well, and how you're all doing this Saturday morning. We have Aish Miyad as well. Good morning, guys. Good morning to you as well. Salute to Origami as well, the best community in the world. Big up, Mick and the VR room. Big up to you. How are you feeling today? I must admit, I'm a little bit rough around the edges. Too much beers yesterday after 2 games in a row. What a quarterfinal. England, Snorefest, but at the end of the day, pulled it through. And also, Big booty Latina hand. What are you saying? Yeah, Donny was never a wonder kid in your opinion. Well, he was nominated for Ballon d'Or winner, so he was somebody that was hot on the radar. We did a deal for 35 million, but we destroyed his career, according to my opinion. Scored some goals at Ajax. That's it. Even at Ajax, people knew. Well, that is your opinion at the end of the day. It's not Matthias de Ligt. Matthias pronounced Matthias. Well, excuse me, I'm a little bit of a dyslexic, so I say Matthias or Matthias, but let's call him de Ligt. So let's do that. Thank you for your pointing out that, but I'm just contrary to say I'm word blind, and that's it. And I'm a little bit hangover, rough around the feathers on this Sunday, trying to keep an appearance. Dark Crow, big up Mick, and big up to you and the chat as well. Kingdom FC, what you're saying here, my brother. Good morning to you. Let's have a drink on the double shot of espresso. We certainly need it. Let's continue with the story. Let's call him MDL, what you're saying. And what do you have to say, Jarlem? I mean, deal locked, terrible on the first post, but we will get 10 to 15 million for him at the end. Also, there is a massive sell-on fee. Is that on Donny van de Beek? I need to read up more of this. This is something that's been sneaking under the radar. We knew we had it on the books, but there was a question what's going to happen, like especially when his loan spell at Frankfurt didn't really get a sniff, and he was injured as well. What are you saying here, Big Booty Latina? I love your name, by the way. Every channel taps his name, lol. Yeah, you know what I mean. Dark Crow, what you're saying here, there must be some shortages in him. Well, let me just see what the current poll is saying. 58% that this is a good deal. Did Manchester United destroy Donny's career? And 58% of you currently saying, and this is 19 votes, to be honest. There is currently, according to my opinion, 150 watching at the moment. If we can get up to 100 likes on this live stream, that'd be great. So let's continue, guys. Let's continue reading what you think. Origami is saying, this is your opinion. Let's have a conversation, Origami. I hope Donny van de Beek shines at Girona. He relentless guy, just riddled with injuries at the wrong time. Yeah. Look, it is a sad one. I always felt sorry for him. Jarlem, I mean, what you're saying here, 400k, shitty deal. Yeah, perhaps. Listen, at the end of the day, we wish him all the best and hope this will transpire at the end of the day. So good to see that you're alert. Good to see that you're following the news. Let me know what you think about the game yesterday, right? For me, I was staring at the screen, the England game. Nothing really happened. We have to push it to penalties, and we got the best out of them. Like Turks is not a mug. And then at the end of the day, if you look at Holland as well, Holland struggled as well. I think that is favorable terms, that we get actually Holland there. We saw Zirkzee coming in at the end of the deal, but Matthijs de Ligt was never picked. And that is a question mark. Do we know that we don't want to injure him? He's going for the medical very soon together with Zirkzee. And there's some rumors speculating around that the two would be a major double medical coming up after the Euros. And who other else is Zirkzee that has agreed to personal terms? And has been calling him every day. Milan is out of the race. Milan is focusing now on their target number one striker, which is Morata. So that is pretty much a green light for us to have a 95%. Here we go. But it's all depending on, the medicals and stuff. So for me, it looks lit. It looks pretty much Matthijs de Ligt together with Zirkzee will become a Manchester United player. It's not a matter of how, if, it's just a matter of booking in a medical. It looks like we have agreed personal terms with both players. It's all about paying the amortization fee for Munich. 34 million has been agreed. What about the add-ons? What about that? There's more stories to come out, but there are some rumors to say that this is pretty much nailed on. We might have a double Dutch for a medical examination at Carrington. So depending how we go with the Euros, if we are playing them, and knocking them out, we will pretty much see a double. Here we go very, very soon. I certainly believe. But I want to hear from you. What do you think? Pizza, probably. Oh my God, are you nursing your hangover with pizza? Thomas Swedjenes coming in all the way from Sweden. Frimpong looked great yesterday. Matched against Turkey. Yes, 100% Frimpong, but wasn't. I think it was more of a, wasn't. Frimpong came in late. I think it was Dumfries that played, wasn't it? Or maybe I was just staring at a blank screen. Netherlands will muffle England. Well, we will see. I think that a common denominator, what I've seen with this Euros, that all these teams that are now in the semifinals, they haven't been playing the best of football. I would say that Spain has been the better team, and Spain is my favorite to win the whole lot, right? But if you look offensively, none of them have really had something going forward, right? If you look at England, right, we Harry Kane is doing the graveyard shift, and that kind of reminds me of Manchester United, right? In a way, Harry Maguire is not there to provide, the headers, so we have nothing going forward on set pieces, and Harry Kane, in a certain ways, like he hasn't really scored much, right? He's sometimes you find him even playing like midfielder or CDM, but I don't know. I find it weird. I don't see that England has found the form. They've been lucky to pull it through to the pens, and Holland as well. Like they started fresh, but they don't really have anything going forward either. Like you look at who do you have on top there? Like you have the workhorse coming in there at the end of the day, and Zirkzee came in at the end, but they're relying pretty much on what's his name? Jesus, I forgot his name. Maybe I'm too hangover. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. But there's no goals up front either. Like in France, if you look at France either, like Mbappe hasn't really set the world on fire. He hasn't scored yet, according to my knowledge as well. So it is a little bit weird to see those finalists or semi-finalists not really having things end product at the end, right? Spain has only had Nico Williams to show a little bit of glimpses of hope, but at the end of the day, we're here to talk about England and Manchester United, because that's what we are about. Yeah. When did you support England? I don't really support England, right? My team is not even there, but I support football, and I support good football. And I am saying that England hasn't really played good football whatsoever. Like, it's been a snowfest. You cannot lie, right? And there's still the same problematical with Southgate not picking the right players. At the end of the day, you throw in Luke Shaw in the end, like, you have proper, left fullback to start with. And Kobe Mainoo has been subbed out. Kobe Mainoo, according to my opinion, was the sparking, shining light together with the substitution at the end of the day, throw in a Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. So we have to change. I mean, I don't support England, but I support good football, and of course England being Premier League, of course you got to support England. But I said my piece. I said my favorites to win the Euros will be Spain at the end of the day. Bounty Hunter is saying what you're saying here. Donny destroyed his own career with his weak mentality. Do you reckon with his weak mentality? Well, what weak mentality? I mean, in a way, let us have a discussion regarding this. I hear what you're saying. He never had the fire in his belly from day one. Well, he did. As a personality, he's not that sort of outgoing. He's like a guy that sort of lets his work do the talking. Apparently, there was some, stories come out that he trains really well. He tries really hard, but he was not really picked. He was not really favored, right? So, weak mentality comes in confidence at the end of the day. So if you work your socks off, you're not getting picked, you start to wonder what's going on. You speak to the manager. Can I have some minutes? He gives him a few minutes cameo. He does well. He takes his chances, but then he doesn't get picked because, the manager at that time, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, decided to go with Fred McFred. And, you look at this like, what the hell? I'm better than McFred. So, of course, it's going to destroy your mentality. And then you have the injuries that also destroys your capability at the end of the day. So let's part ways, like, and wish him all the best. I must agree what you say again, but in a way, we got to look at the player himself as a human being. Big Bounty Hunter, what you're saying here, when will England, the luck run out? When, yeah, exactly, when to be lucky, right? We saved Southgate's career. They're the worst team in the tournament, and I agree. Like, and Foden hasn't done much. Jude and Kane not working together. Something needs dropping. 100%. Foden, they keep playing him. They did a little bit of a change. They played him in the middle. But at the end of the day, spotless leopard, what you're saying, and not real United fans in England support England. It's as simple as that. No red, I know, cares about that nonsense. Yeah, 100%. Really, I care about United, and that's what we're here for. But I'm just going to shout you out. Bounty Hunter said 40 in the room, only 18 likes. Come on, guys, get the likes up. 100%. If you are like me, nursing a hangover, let's have a drink of our coffee. Go back and what you're saying here to this interview, Rio, mate. It was clear he was not a self-believe. Yeah, he should have never done that interview. That punished him instead of doing something good. That interview was what it finished him. I agree, 100% what you're saying there. Right. Listen, at the end of the day, like we're gonna talk about. We spoke about Donny van de Beek, and I'm being saying that I am the guardian on Donny. We spoke about who's gonna sign first for United, and for me, it sounds like it's gonna be a Zirkzee and the Ligt, right? There's advanced talks going already that agree in personal terms. The stumbling block is the Euros, as you know, they're also in semi-finals, Holland, to be honest. But I think after that, we will see a medical terms with both Zirkzee and de Ligt taking place. That is smooth business. That is something that we haven't used to see United doing. I mean, in look at de Ligt, like, you know, we might get him for 35 million pounds. That is an amazing deal, and he's reported being agreed at terms of somewhere around 200k a week, 175k a week. I don't really have the specific. And that is, he said no to PSG. He said no to Liverpool. He only wants United. And I think this is almost 100% now a done deal. Same with Zirkzee as well, as reported by AC Milan, moved away from the Zirkzee deal and targeting Morata instead. Amrabat is what we want to talk about. What is the future of Amrabat? His loan has expired. There was some reports to say that Manchester United can do this deal, 4-year contract. There's been some rumblings behind the scenes that they are contemplating to trigger that. But there's some favorite terms on 13 million pounds instead of the 21 that was firmly agreed when we actually took him on a loan deal. When we took him on a loan deal, we actually paid 8 million and we had an obligation to buy for 21, but that price has gone down. I believe the Manchester United can do this deal. They've been negotiating to say 13 million. That is a bargain. That is a steal. Let me know what you think. Would you have an objection regarding signing Amrabat? And that comes together. We get 2 CDMs, apparently. Ugarte, that is also now, congratulations for Uruguay, also advancing in the semifinals. And Ugarte is a deal that PSG and Manchester United are in advanced talk for 45 million. Imagine 45 million pounds for a brilliant CDM like Ugarte as well. And then you add on 13 million for a Amrabat. Then all of a sudden you have 2 CDMs for less price than 60 million. Wow. 60 million almost for 2 players in that position that are, I wouldn't say world class, but they are bloody better than we have, right? You can look at Amrabat, the way he came to life when we gave him 4 chances in a row, when we finally played him in the right position. Like, Amrabat is a utility player. Like, he saved us when we didn't have any left backs, right? He was thrown in left, right, center to do a job. And then finally, like, you know, at the end of the window, we started to use a proper CDM instead of moving away from Casemiro, right? And Casemiro looks like he's going to be sold to Saudi Arabia. There's another 30 million to be recuperated. Shave off that almost 80 million a year wages. And then you get 2 CDMs for the price of 60 million. I want to hear from you guys as well. Let me drive into a poll. Let's just finish off this poll. Look, at the end of the day, you guys think that, you know, 58% that Manchester United destroyed his career, and 42 said no. I'm going to end this poll and I'm going to create a new one that goes like this. 60 million for 2 CDMs. Is that a good business? Ugarte plus Amrabat. Let's go. I'm starting the poll right here, right now. I'm saying 60 million for 2 CDMs. Is that good business? Ugarte plus Amrabat. I want to hear from you. I'm going to go to the comment section, what you think, what you're saying here. Let's say what you are saying here, Bounty Hunt. I thought we could get Amrabat for 21 million. Well, apparently, yes. But the thing is that Fiorentina don't want him. They moved away already. Like, you know, so the loan deal is finished. What are Fiorentina going to do? There was a release clause, but we have favorable terms with discussion. So now when you have like Omar Barada on board, you have Ashworth on board, everyone has kind of sit down on the round table to look at, listen, what is the best value we can get? Like, you know, and obviously they're astute businessmen. They're not bankers anymore. They're like, you know, looking from a footballing objective. And there was reports that come out yesterday to say we can get this deal over the line for 13 million. So obviously they've spoken to Fiorentina. Listen, can you do this deal, but for a lesser price? 13 million British pounds is approximately, if I do the calculation, around 90 million, 20 million euros. And I believe that that is something that Fiorentina could accept at the end of the day, right? And Amrabat is also reported that he only wants to stay United. So you could sway the player's head, you could sort of talk to different clubs. But like Amrabat, like last season, he only wanted to stay at Manchester United. Now that Ten Hag is there is some vote of confidence based that he almost, I would say, that won us the FA Cup final. Like, his performance in that midfield allowed Kobe Mainoo to go forward. He also protected the defense. So he showed us that he's worth to pay that 13 million if we can get that over the line. But I want to hear from you. Like, you get Emmanuel Ugarte for 45 million. Bish, bash, bosh. Great, like, break up of play, great defensive midfielder, like this South American warrior spirit. And then you sort of complement that with an Amrabat, which allows you with Kobe Mainoo to run forward, but we're not there yet. We're going to sign 2 more midfielders, which we're going to discuss in the next segment as well. Keep Amrabat and McTominay, what you're saying here. McTominay, I think it's time to move. I hear what you're saying, right? There's apparently like Fulham is in for him. They're willing to pay 40 million, 35, 40 million. And if we do that deal, I mean, who would say no? I mean, if you would have kept the McTominay on the bench, he would be like power sub jumping in, and it's cheap on the wages, 60k a week for Scott McTominay. But I think it's time to move. I think it's time to say goodbye. I think it's time to be less sentimental. Be ruthless and just get rid of those players like McTominay, not good enough. Maguire, not good enough. Lindelof needs to go. We're not good enough. And we have bids on the table, 100%. We also hear rumblings regarding, Rashford. The PSG might come in for him for 80 million. And rightfully so, right? His market value is 60 million, is plunged. But he's a household name out of Europe, Marcus Rashford, NBA. We might get 80 million for it. So why couldn't we get good money for Marcus Rashford or, Lindelof or even Maguire or even Scott McTominay? We've been sucking at selling, but when other clubs can get 40 million for Cole Palmer that never kicked the ball at City, and Chelsea bought him for 40, so we got to be good on selling. So for me, I hear what you're saying in your story. I wouldn't keep McTominay. If we get money for him, right, McTominay, if we get 35 million, that is pure profit on the FFP because it's homegrown talent and they go straight into the transfer market kitty book. So let me know what you think after what I said here right now. Even then, Amrabat even rejected Liverpool, 100%. What you're saying here, big booty Latina Hunter, love your name, by the way. Again, nobody in the Netherlands really rated Erik ten Hag, mate. I live there. Oh, you live in there. He's a stubborn guy from a farmer region. Even his press conferences in the Netherlands were awkward, and journalists always laughed at him. So you're Dutch, so you will understand. I have a lot of Dutch friends as well, and they're quite direct and sometimes reserved. Depends on what the region is. Sometimes what he said, you got to look a cow in the ass. And that is what Ten Hag said. That means, yeah, you got to look the cow in the ass. He has no pull, 100%. Morning, Neil Disco. How you doing? Ruud has bigger pull than Erik ten Hag. And that's it. You get in a Ruud van Nistelrooy, of course. That was a deal breaker when Zirkzee found out that who is going to be the, secondary striker. Bloody hell, right? Who wouldn't come to Manchester United when you hear that Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to be there? 100%. Morning to you, Oz. Bounty Hunter, good morning to you. Stephanie Griffith, morning. Are you waking up? Are you getting the bloodstream flowing on this Paper Talk Sunday? I'm definitely had a gym session. I cannot lie. I seldom drink, but, I have visitors here who's a massive Gooner supporter, loves England. And, of course, we had a few ones, and miserable game, and through that misery you drink more beers, if you know what you know. Let's see, Big Buddha, I know he's a clown, but he's our clown. Yeah, listen, we all know what happened last season. I ain't gonna call him clown. I ain't gonna call it anything. I'm just gonna go and observe. Rightfully so. Now we have a proper backroom staff in place. It is finalized, right? It is finalized. We even have the goalkeeper coach in there. We have everyone on board. You have the system managers there, meaning that Ten Hag can just be the chef, meaning that all the ingredients will be prepared. His assistant coaches, the recruitment will be done by the head of recruitment, and everyone else has got a green light, all the deals. So all he has to do right now is just go and make this team progress. That's all we care about. And these rumors that we're going to spend big in the market, as per usual, media is trying to sort of downplay it, say, well, Manchester United only have 60 million, 100 million to spend. Well, evidently, wake up, fans. We know what happens. Every transfer window is the same story. Media is reporting that we only have 100 million to spend. And what do? We end up spending 250, 260. So I believe that is going to be money to be spent. But I want to hear from you at the end of the day. Manuel Ugarte is the next one that is brewing hot. But, congratulations, Uruguay, also with Policia advancing to the semifinals. I believe that this is a deal that's going to be done after Copa America and Euro. So we might have 3 signings coming into the door. Plus, we are heavily bidding in for a marquee signing, which we're going to discuss as well. But I just want to see what the stream is saying, what the poll is saying at the moment. Did we create a poll? We did. And no, we just created a Q&A section. Yeah, sorry about that. Mick is too hangover, so it was a Q&A section. Let's just dive right into that story regarding Ugarte as well. That one has serious legs, like 45 million, as what we discussed, can be a deal done. And obviously, we are now starting to formulate a good relationship with PSG. And of course, we know they are acquiring regarding a Marcus Rashford. Could this be a deal breaker that we get an Ugarte for 45 million and plus they pay cash like 40 millions for Marcus Rashford, 45 million? It works in both ways. We are both the winners. Still, if you get a player plus cash for, Marcus Rashford, we still cash in. But in certain ways, in terms of the Zirkzee, I did a video about this well before. He's a 9.5, and the way he plays, he's pretty much a player that will play with his back against the goal. Like, he's the final piece in the final third that will link up the play. So even if you have a Rashford in there, like, he will link up play with Rashford. He will establish the late tiki-taka 1-2 touches football, and he likes to arrive late. So he's pretty much a 9.5. And who's to say that there'll be instances where we play with 2 strikers, where you have an Højlund, which is a number 9, outer number 9 approach, goal poacher and goal scorer, with Zirkzee playing a little bit more in front of him. That might be a lethal combination. But you know what? Maybe it's not the best signing, but for 34 million pounds, that is something. Like, if the scouting department has seen it, I certainly done my scouting on Zirkzee. I think this is a good signing, and he is pretty much an upgrade on Anthony Martial. 100% same playing style, right? Let me see what you think at the end of the day, guys. I'm going to go and read your comments. Yeah, what you saying? If from Holland, you're saying even if Root takes over, but even worse, why would it be so? I'm keen to hear what you're saying. What's your thoughts on, since you are living in Holland? Dark Crow is saying McTominay wages too low for us. Sell him only 50k per week. No, he's actually on 60k per week if you look it up. McTominay is on 60k. Origami, what you saying here, my friend? If we got a good deal for McTominay, Maguire, Lindelof, and Aaron Van Bissaka should be sold, not priority sell at the moment. Yeah, well, stick to that. Hold my beer on that one, right? Because there are some advanced reports that Fulham is 100% in for McTominay, as Palhinha is going to now to Bayern as well. Remember, Palhinha was going to Bayern. He did a medical, and that deal was stopped. Now that deal is back on, and Fulham going for McTominay. Maguire, definitely we should get 30 million minimum for him, and Lindelof looks like bye-bye. Lindelof, 15 million, and instantly Aaron Van Bissaka as well. We should be selling him for no less than 15 million, 20 million. I agree, but they are 1 year left on the contract. Should be extended. I think it's time to say goodbye. And if we do get rid of Aaron Van Bissaka, we will see a deal activated. We'll be moving swiftly for Frimpong. The Frimpong deal is all about what will going on with AWB. Now, it's going to be an interesting window. I see that we will get rid of at least 1 centre-back. And what's going on with Todibo as well, as per se, there was some reports to say that United are pissed off because they already had an agreement with Todibo to come to Manchester United. And UEFA put this stupid ban in to say, in between this date to September, you cannot do these transfers, right? But that is only for UEFA Cup competitions, because Nice and Manchester United are both playing in Europa League. And partially, Manchester United with 27% is owned by Ratcliffe, which is Trawlers Limited, not Ineos Sport. Ineos Sport is 100% owned owner of Nice. So they are now working behind the scenes to find out a loophole, and the loophole might be two scenarios, according to my opinion as well, as I've been drumming on this drum, is you can still buy a Todibo for 25 million, 100%, but you cannot play him in the Europa Cup competition, or you can sort of wait till January window and get him and avoid that ban, because the Europa League, rule only applies to September. So what would you do, guys? What would you do? Would you just go all in for Todibo now and just play him in the domestic league, meaning Premier League, which we are probably going to play 38 games plus all the cup competitions? And would you just then rotate in Europa League, or would you just go, hang on a second, we're not going to be mugs, we want to have 100% rights, and we're just going to wait till the January window, Christmas window, and get him there and bypass that September rule and still be able to play him in Europa League? But depends on how far United will go into the Europa League, because nothing is written in stone as of yet. But if you look at the teams that are part of the Europa League with Manchester United's rebuild, depending on what we do in the recruitment window, chances are that we are going deep into Europa League. That is my prerequisites. Go deep into the club competitions, go for top four, potentially go for second, third spot, but also go deep into the Europa League and potentially win that trophy as well. So that is the update regarding that one as well. At the end of the day, I think if we can get him in for 25 million, that is a steal. Moving away from the Brentway, that looks like it's dead out of the water, but we still need a left-footed fullback, because the one that we recruited in right now is the Ligt, and most likely will happen. He's a right footer. He will be playing next to Licha, and he's pretty much the Rafael Varane replacement. And then if you look at Todibo, he's also right-footed. So we still need a left-footed centre-back. And who is that going to be? Well, apparently we had on a transfer corner on www.mufcrealisttv website, if you go check out the transfer holometer, go in there and vote. The number 2 in there is Gonzalo Inacio, and they are now out of Europe as well. And Gonzalo Inacio, for me, is a deal that could be made, because what if we had about 50 million to spend for a fullback, for a centre-back, left-footed centre-back, which we apparently was alleged to do with Brentway. Well, apparently, Inacio is available for a release clause on 45 million, and I really fancy this one because Inacio is two-footed, right? No, he's actually left-footed, but he's such a astute player that he can play left-back as well, and he can play left-centre centre-back, to be honest. So that is a good deal to be made, and basically we are looking for somebody that can rotate with Licha, right? We cannot just go into next season's campaign with only Licha, and what if Licha gets injured? Who's going to play? Luke Shaw seems to be back on fitness levels. He made his first cameo after not kicking a ball since February. Came in, had a decent game, but still a little bit rusty. And United are looking for a left fullback as well. So it's going to be very interesting, but I want to hear from you guys as well. KK, how you doing? Hey, any can't be worse than that. Yeah, 100% agree. And let me see what your comments are saying here. 20 region, yeah. You cannot buy experience. Melis, good afternoon to you, Melis. How you doing? Hope you are good, mice. Are you Scandinavian, by the way? You said something tackar last time. Are you Swedish, Norwegian, German? Let me know in the comment section as well. Gay Notes, you're right, what you're saying here, Gay Notes. Maguire McTominay have to go this summer. Finally, somebody sees the forest from the tree. I'm excited about the rebuild and the structure. Same as me. United are in a very good place right now, and it feels like that. Again, it definitely feels like that. And I cannot lie either. We've been living on this abusive relationship with the Glazers and not really caring about the club. And instead of appointing footballing people, they've been appointing bankers looking at the figures and look at shirt sale values rather than undermining the manager and getting the right targets, what the managers want. But that era is over. And that is the most impressive thing. And this, for me, Gerd, is the first ever proper rebuild what we're doing, like fixing the culture, fixing the backroom stuffs, fixing the environment, make sure that we have everything that we needed. And fixing Carrington, the training ground, is the first thing you need to do. Because why? The players and the managers spend most of the time training there, right? Training there. The match is just, the game time. So we need to fix up the training ground with the new head of medical department coming in, Gary O'Driscoll for Arsenal. They've already started the work at Carrington, making the environment beautiful and just getting the latest science equipments to avoid all these muscle injuries. And that's about it. So it feels that we are going towards the right way. It feels that in order to sort of start to run, you need to learn how to crawl first and walk. And we've been crawling for quite a while, and now finally we get our legs back together, screwed on, and it will be very interesting to see. Your brother in law is Dutch, big on you, Neil Driscoll. I just have friends in Holland, and all I know is say "Hoot hoot voor hat hoes." That's it, right? Laughter as well. What she's saying here, my brother Assad, are we targeting any more players than the ones that have been reported? Yes, apparently, but we are going in a pecking order. And apparently, we if we're talking about the midfield, which is the engine room, if we are now constructing a midfield, we're going to talk about 2 CDMs that are coming in for less than 60 million. That is astute business. That is Manuel Ugarte and Sofian Amra Tank. Then we are apparently having a second bid rejected for a marquee signing, which is João Neves. There is no smoke without fire. That is picking up the pace. We've been linked with this kid for a long, long time. Hasn't really got a lot of games in the Euros, which is good for us because that really doesn't, makes his price tag go up. There's been reports that Benfica, which we know is run by Rui Costa, they're very hard bargain earners, but we have still good relationship. It's been said it's 100 million or nothing, but they are now in a financial situation where they need to sell. Manchester United are being clever to use the intermediate in George Mendes. George Mendes is not his agent, but he is the intermediate between the clubs, talking, moving backwards and forwards. He's not a mom. George Mendes, he fucked up with Ronaldo. He wants to restore the relationship with United, according to some reports. So now he's acting as the intermediate. So he's going to United to say, okay, Rui Costa said, we will accept no less than 65 million. Are you ready with this add-on? So there's still conversations going on. And I believe that if we sign him, this is the one for the future. This is no-brainer. If you splash the cash 65 million for this kid, the resale value will be massive. He's 19 years of age. You give him a 5-year contract. By age of 24, he will be a world-class CDM. Not a CDM, but a number 8. So you can see that we are doing a box clever thing. And I believe that as a new custodians of the club, like Ineos is looking to do a marquee signing. Now I believe that, João Neves is the marquee signing together with the Ligt at the end of the day. So that is a deal to look after. We can do that one with favorable terms, because remember, we gave them we gave him our left back Alvaro Fernandez for a very, very cheap price and a sell-on clause as well. I think it was about 6 to 7 million pounds we sold him for, with a sell-on clause as well. So I believe that is the deal to look after. So at the end of the day, that midfield, plus we're going to talk about another one as well, will be scary, right? We're talking about, a lot of people are saying, no, Mick, don't do it. But there's no smoke without fires. People, we are talking about one for free. We're talking about Rabiot, right? Rabiot for free. He was banned against the last game. He had a yellow card, so he couldn't play. But Rabiot is a 6 hybrid 8 with an engine that will never stop. He's a Duracell bunny. A lot of people of you saying, no, I don't want this baggage with his mom. But we're not marrying his mom. His mom is not going to play in that midfield. It's something that we're getting for free. It's not going to cost us anything other than a little bit of a sign-on bonus plus wages, maximum 200K a week. I do that deal 100% because I got to look at, realistically, from a footballing ability, it's good headache, right? We can all of a sudden we have a midfield that is quality. And also forgetting that we actually have Mason Mount in there as well. Like, God, we bought Mason Mount. How many times did he play for United last season? 7, 8 times maximum. So we still haven't seen the best of Mason Mount as of yet. Could Mason Mount stay injury-free this season? All of a sudden, we have a fantastic midfield there as well. And the reports about Bruno going to Saudi, I think it's BS. Of course, Saudi wants him, but I think that Bruno, in this current stage, looking at what's going on with the transfer window, looking at, this looks mouth-watering. It looks like we have ambition. We're going to start challenging, and I'm going to stay. Now, I think that we are building around Bruno and Kobe Mainoo and adding on, finally, into that midfield. So we have a quality midfield. On top, it looks like pretty much it's going to be Zirkzee playing with, Højlund, and potentially, if we do sell a Rashford, we might get a Nico Williams in there that has a release clause on 45 million as well. We will see. We will see. But in terms of the winger situation, I don't see anything happening. On Monday, by the way, there is reported that the loan players need to come back to quarantine to report for duty. That means, is Jadon Sancho's coming back? Is Greenwood coming back to training? That is drama, mama, right? There is deals to be made. Jadon Sancho to Juventus seems to be most advanced. Greenwood negotiations. There's a bidding war for Greenwood. Marcel is entering the race. Lazio is entering the race. There's more clubs entering the race. But the thing is, if Manchester United don't get what they said in the original, they want £40 million for Mason Greenwood. Most of it cash up front, and the rest can be divided into add-ons and installments. What happens if that doesn't transpire? Will Manchester United bring home Greenwood? But certainly will not bring back Sancho. Will Sancho play with the kids? Will he train in the I don't know. It's so weird, but that is the situation what they have to resolve at the end of the day. That's about it, guys. Until something else breaks, I just want to read your comments. Yeah. Thomas is saying you need more than Ugarte in the midfield, and I just said that 100%. Sancho Radley, 35 likes. Big up to you. We have Military George is in the house as well, saying, what update do we have on Malacia? There's not much. I'm dying to understand, because we've been on the market to buy a left back. Even Fabrizio Romano has been saying, keep your eyes on that, right? There's two left back in this Milos Kerkez, 100%. There's Milos Kerkez, and there is Gutierrez as well, right? There's these two left backs that we're heavily linked to. But that means that something has to give. And we cannot do the same mistake to go into the season with the uncertainty. Do we have two fit left backs? Luke Shaw was playing yesterday. Good on him. But he's a porcelain dot. He can break. But nobody really knows with Malacia. The last time I saw Malacia was on the FA Cup trophy ceremony. And I said, proof of life. But I think that Luke Shaw is difficult to sell. He's got 1 year left on his contract, 200k a week. Either we just fizz him out and just get rid of him next season. But certainly we are in for a left back. I don't really know what's going on with Malacia. Don't really know. Rush Mainoo, Maguire is on his way out. It looks like it, right? It looks like it. And for me, this window is more about the outs than the ins. Of course, it's exciting to hear all the links in and out. But I think after these deals, this is the advanced deals that we're talking about. Zirkzee, Ligt, double medical after the Euros. Looks like that is advanced. Amrabat is already with Manchester United. It's a deal to be made on 30 million apparently. And also Ugarte, let him play. Like, it depends on what they do in Uruguay. If they then get knocked out in the semis, all he needs to do, get on the flight, do the medical, and off you go on holiday. Like, sign the contract, off you go. And that's what we need to do. So I think that these three signings would be the signings first. 3 first signings before we go on pre-season tour, and the rest could follow, right? What's going to happen with Aaron Wan-Bissaka? Most likely to be sold. You sell Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you will go for Frimpong. We seem to go for players with release clauses, got 1 year left on the contract. Will you take a Frimpong? 100% is an upgrade, right? The reason why we are looking at the new left back as well, because we want to play bombing fullbacks, right? We may play 3 in the back. Who knows, right? And 2 strikers on top. So I think, in my opinion, Donny Van de Beek leaving, it's a positive sign. I feel sorry for him, but I wish him all the best. I was his guardian of Donny 100% all the way. Like, I feel sorry for him, but, I wish every single Manchester United player all the best. All the best, whatever they end up in the world. Let me see. What you're saying here, Big Booty Latina Hunter, Frimpong doesn't want to be back at the wing back anymore, or only wants to be a winger. His words. Yes, in a word. We will see. We will see. There's a good connection there between Frimpong and actually Wilcox, because Wilcox was the one that brought him up in the City Academy. So will we do that deal? Nobody really knows at the moment. What we know is the centre back situation. Looks like for me that we're going to find a way to pull Todibo back on, because now Juventus sent in the race. They are doing everything to block this deal on a favourite price in 25. I think that, at the end of the day, Todibo will become a Manchester United player. But who will be the left-footed centre back? I mean, I would say stay away from Everton and Brentwaite. There's better. I say the Gonzalo Inacio will be the one that will be hot on the hotometer right now when Portugal is out. Keep your eyes on the price. This is Sunday. Yeah, I agree with what Melis is saying here. Who cares what people think about Erik ten Hag in Holland? He's the manager of Manchester United, and we support him 100%. It's time to back this team, for fuck's sake. That's what we do here. It's been a weird one. Just think about it. Like last year, where we were at, with the Glazers still running the shot, and this year is totally different. Right? We haven't seen this. We haven't signed pretty much anyone. The only one we signed was James Overy from Perth Glory. This is a 16-year-old. But it looks like the deals are advancing, right? The old Manchester United, we used to haggle. We used to sit on our asses. John Murtagh didn't used to do deals until 1 week or 2 years left on the window, when he woke up and used to do panic buying and panic selling. So I think that there's a plan in place, and now Barada is also starting on Monday as well as the new CEO. So let's go. It's going to be very interesting. Apparently, we're going to spend big. What is going to be? I believe that our marquee signing will be, at the end of the day, a João Neves. Anyway, Nana, big up to you. Sell Rashford and get Kudus in. Yeah, Kudus is a good shout. I agree with you. Sorry for protecting our manager. Yeah, I agree. You should back a team. But everyone has opinion. If you don't like Ten Hag out, I don't really care. I look from a footballing perspective. I don't really care, if we sell or keep Greenwood, for instance. I'm not that person. I'm very objective, very neutral. And I just look at what is best for Manchester United as a footballing club. I want us to play good football. I'm tired of us hovering around getting to Champions League with the Glazers just to get some money. I want us to be successful. Manchester United's high standards, lifting trophies, compete for every single competition. And I think that they're not going to mess around this time, right? In fact, that they gave Erik ten Hag another extension, 1-year extension, is to put pressure. Okay, now you got everything that you got. No excuses. Let's go. And we as fans should get behind it. I'm definitely getting behind it. And I love being in here talking to you about it, because it looks like we are going places. The outs is very important, according to my opinion as well. We need to clear the deadwood finally. As I said, it would be very difficult to get rid of Luke Shaw. Right? 1 year left on his contract, injury prone. So, but it's an easy deal to get rid of Maguire, Lindelof, those kind of players. They need to go. Scott McTominay, time to go, right? If you keep it Scott McTominay, I can argue to the point that it's good coming up from the bench, but then you sort of hinder other youngsters' development to come from the bench as well, like a young Collier, for instance, or like a young Harry Amas, or young, those kind of players, right? That needs minutes. But we will see, people. It is Sunday after all, and good to see everyone waking up, and let me know your thoughts and feelings. So to summarize the stories, you just send me updates. I saw that, Rushmano. Let me check my updates as well before I close the shop. Anyway, I just thought, instead of doing a recorded video, what better way is to wake up together, smell the coffee, and report on the news. Rushmano, send me some updates. Let me see what is going on here. Whoa. Yep, latest from Rushmano coming. Erik ten Hag is planning to use Lisandro Martinez and Matthias de Ligt in a 4-3-3 formation next season. This is coming according to Moloch Sports Mirror. Thank you for that update as well, Rushmano. What else is new? Ruud van Nistelrooy has traveled to England, where he will sign a 2-year contract with Manchester United as assistant manager the next coming days. That is kind of the breaking news. Why a 2-year contract? Why not a 3? That is a weird one. What else do we have here coming from Rushmano before we close the shop? Coming as well, Erik ten Hag has already held talks with Matthias de Ligt and would told him he's seen him as a new defensive rock to build the sides around him. So basically, that has been spoken. He's spoken to de Ligt to say, you are going to be the rock, you are going to be the Varane captain, and he's a leader. They know each other 100%. So thank you again for that breaking news, Rushmare as well. And what else do we have here as well? Mason Greenwood is set to benefit from an extended break while club continues to work a possible sale of Jadon Sancho should return to Carrington tomorrow. Even in his defense, Erik ten Hag are still not resolved. Shit. So we might have a scenario then that we have both Greenwood and Sancho back in training tomorrow. Wow, it's going to be interesting to see. That would be a story for Lockhurst. He will hang himself out there at the Carrington training ground. He'll place bugs and microphones and miniature invisible cameras just to see the latest gosh stories. That's about it, people. That is what's coming on here. This has been Mick Ruby on a Sunday. A little bit hangover, a little bit rough around edges, but still happy that England got through. Not. That was shit display. They were lucky. And Holland, that's going to be a big one, people. We are going to see Matthias de Ligt potentially. And why did Matthias de Ligt play? Is it because he's edging closer for a transfer? And also, yeah, Zirkzee. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. Big Sunday. Whatever you're having for Sunday roast, I can hardly speak. I'm still hangover, and I'm still going to enjoy the rest of the Sunday. Guys, I'm going to put my hand up and be honest. When I feel hangover, I am bloody hangover. Until then, glory, Manchester United. Peace, love, and go bananas. Sunday roast. That's why I'm going to have a potential pizza. Bye for now. Ciao.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.